This is Max and Mia podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Max and Mia podcast.
Hi there. We're so glad you're here with us today.
Whether you're joining us for the first time or you've been with us since day one, thanks for tuning in.
Absolutely. We really appreciate you taking the time to listen. We know you've got plenty of options out there, so it means a lot that you chose to spend this time with us.
For sure. And hey, if this is your first episode, you're in for a treat. We love having real, down-to-earth conversations about all sorts of topics.
That's right. No scripts, no boring stuff. Just us chatting like we're hanging out over coffee.
Exactly. So grab your headphones, get comfortable, and let's dive in.
Let's do this.
All right, so today we're going to talk about something that literally everyone needs. Talking about the past.
Oh, yes. Like, how do you tell your friends about that crazy thing that happened last weekend? Or share a funny story from when you were a kid?
Exactly. And here's the thing. We've been reading your comments, and a lot of you asked us to break things down by level. So today, we're doing something different.
Yep. We'll show you how talking about the past works at B1 level, and then how it gets a bit more sophisticated at B2. Not harder, just smoother, you know?
Right. Because honestly, the jump from B1 to B2 isn't about learning completely new grammar. It's more about sounding more natural and giving better details.
So let's start with B1. At this level, you've got your main tools. Past simple and past continuous. You know, like, I went to the store, or I was walking when it started raining.
Yeah, and don't forget about those irregular verbs. They can be tricky, like go becomes went, see becomes saw. There's no rule. You just have to learn them.
Oh, and time expressions. Things like yesterday, last week, 2 days ago. Super useful for giving context.
And of course, questions and negatives, like did you go or I didn't see him. These are simple, very common structures you usually see at B1.
But here's a common mistake we hear all the time. People say I didn't went instead of I didn't go.
Yes. Remember, after did or didn't, the verb goes back to its base form. So it's I didn't go, not I didn't went.
Exactly. Okay, so that's B1. Now, what about B2?
Okay, so at B2, you're not really learning new tenses. You're learning to combine them smoothly. Like, you can mix past simple and past continuous in the same story without even thinking about it.
Yeah, instead of saying, I walked home, it rained, you'd say, I was walking home when it suddenly started raining. See the difference?
It's all about flow. And at B2, you're also using more connectors. Words like meanwhile, suddenly, as soon as, by the time.
Right. These make your stories sound way more engaging. You're not just listing events anymore, you're building a narrative.
And you're adding more details and context. Like, instead of, I went to a party, you might say, I ended up going to this party my friend had been planning for weeks.
Oh, good one. See how that gives so much more background?
Exactly. So the difference between B1 and B2 isn't dramatic. It's more about confidence, variety, and making your stories actually interesting to listen to.
And that's what we're going to help you with today. We'll give you real examples, point out those sneaky mistakes, and show you how to level up your storytelling.
This is going to be fun.
It really is. Okay, so let's start with B1. We're going to play you a conversation between two friends talking about a weekend trip that went totally wrong.
Oh, this is a good one. You'll hear them using past simple, past continuous, those time expressions we mentioned, and of course, some irregular verbs thrown in there.
Pay attention to how they structure their sentences. It's clear, it's simple, but it gets the story across, right?
Exactly. And remember, at B1, it's all about being understood. You don't need fancy language. You just need to communicate what happened.
All right, let's listen to the conversation between Liam and Nora. Here we go.
Hey, Nora. How was your weekend?
Don't even get me started. It was a disaster.
Really? What happened?
Well, I went to the beach with my cousin Sarah on Saturday. We planned everything. We packed our bags, prepared sandwiches, and left early in the morning.
Sounds good so far.
Yeah, but when we arrived, the weather was terrible. It was raining and the wind was really strong.
Oh, no. Did you stay anyway?
We tried. We sat in the car for about an hour waiting for the rain to stop. But it didn't stop. It just got worse.
That's frustrating. So what did you do?
We decided to drive to a nearby town. We found a small cafe and had lunch there. The food was actually pretty good.
Well, at least something went right.
Yeah, but then things got even worse. When we finished eating, we went back to the parking lot and guess what?
What?
The car didn't start. The battery was dead.
You're kidding.
I wish I was. We were stuck there. Sarah called a mechanic, but he took forever to arrive.
How long did you wait?
Almost 2 hours. While we were waiting, it started raining again. We were so tired and wet.
That sounds awful. Did the mechanic fix the car?
Eventually, yes. He jumped the battery and the car started working again. But by that time, it was already 6 p.m.
So you just went home after that?
Exactly. We drove straight home. I was exhausted when I got back. I didn't even have dinner. I just went to bed.
Wow, what a day. Did you do anything on Sunday to make up for it?
Not really. I stayed home and watched movies all day. I needed to recover.
I don't blame you. At least you have a funny story to tell now.
True, but honestly, I don't want to go to the beach again for a while.
I get it. Hey, speaking of bad trips, do you remember when we went camping last year?
Oh my God, yes. When we forgot the tent poles?
Exactly. We slept in the car that night. It was so uncomfortable.
And it was freezing. I wore 3 jackets and I was still cold.
Yeah, that was rough. But we laughed about it the next day, right?
We did. I guess bad trips always make the best stories.
Definitely. So, are you planning any trips soon, or are you taking a break?
I think I'm taking a break for now. Maybe I'll try again next month when the weather's better.
Good idea. Well, thanks for sharing the story. At least I know my weekend was better than yours.
Oh, come on. What did you do?
Nothing exciting. I stayed home, played video games, and ordered pizza. It was perfect.
You know what? That sounds amazing right now. Maybe I should have done the same.
Next time, just stay home with me. We'll have a movie marathon.
Deal.
All right. So, what did you notice there?
First thing, the story had a clear timeline. We left early. When we arrived. By that time, it was already 6 p.m. Those time markers keep everything organized.
Yeah, and that's super important when you're telling a story. Without those, your listener gets lost. They don't know if things happened at the same time or one after another.
Exactly. And did you catch how natural the past continuous worked? While we were waiting, it started raining again. It's not complicated. It just shows 2 things happening at once.
Right. And here's something I always tell people. You don't need to use past continuous all the time. Most of your story can be in past simple, and you just drop in the continuous when you need to set the scene or show background action.
Ooh, good point. Like when Nora said it was raining instead of it rained, that's because the rain wasn't a quick event. It was the situation around her.
Exactly. And you know what else I liked? The conversation felt real. They asked follow-up questions, reacted to each other. You're kidding. Oh no.
Yes, that's something people forget when they're learning. A story isn't just you talking at someone. It's interactive.
For sure. Actually, this reminds me of when I was learning Spanish. I was telling my host family about a trip I took, and I just kept listing things. I went here, I ate this, I saw that. No reactions, no emotion.
Oh no, the dreaded list.
Exactly. And my host mom stopped me and said, "Okay, but how did you feel? What was the best part?" She taught me that details and reactions make stories worth listening to.
That's such a good lesson. And honestly, that applies in any language, not just when you're learning.
Totally. All right, so before we move on, quick reminder. If you're enjoying this episode, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps us keep making content like this for you.
Yeah, and drop a comment if you want us to cover a specific topic.
We do. Okay, so now let's level up. We're going to play you another conversation, but this time at B2.
Right. So, what's the difference? Well, you'll hear more complex sentences. Things like mixing past tenses smoothly, using connectors to build the narrative, and adding more context and detail.
The story won't just be, this happened, then that happened. It'll have layers. You'll hear background info, explanations for why things happened, and smoother transitions between ideas.
And don't worry, it's not going to be overwhelming. It's just more sophisticated, I guess.
Yeah, like the difference between saying I was late because the bus was delayed versus I ended up being late since the bus I usually take was running behind schedule, which never happens.
See? Same information, but one gives you more context and sounds more natural.
All right, let's hear it. This conversation is between two coworkers catching up after a vacation. Pay attention to how they structure their stories and the language they use.
Here we go.
Hey, Clara, you're back. How were the holidays?
Oh, they were interesting, to say the least. I actually ended up organizing a surprise party for my mom's birthday, which I'd been planning for weeks, but things didn't quite go as expected.
Oh, what happened?
Well, the whole idea was to throw her a surprise party at our house. I'd been secretly coordinating with my siblings, and we'd agreed to tell her we were just having a small family dinner. You know, nothing fancy.
Sounds like a solid plan. What went wrong?
So, the day of the party, I was running around all morning setting everything up, decorating the living room, preparing the food, making sure the cake would arrive on time. Meanwhile, my brother was supposed to be keeping my mom distracted by taking her out for lunch.
Okay, so far so good.
Right, but here's where it gets messy. By the time they were supposed to come back, around 4 p.m., none of the guests had shown up yet. I started panicking because I'd told everyone to arrive by 3:30.
Oh no, where were they?
Turns out there was a huge traffic jam on the main highway. Apparently, there'd been an accident earlier that morning and the roads were still backed up, so people were texting me saying they were stuck.
That's stressful. What did you do?
I had to call my brother and tell him to stall. I mean, he was already at a restaurant with my mom, so I suggested he order dessert or something to buy us more time.
Did that work?
Kind of. He managed to keep her occupied for about another half hour. But then, just as the first guests started arriving, my mom called me. She wanted to know if I needed her to pick up anything on the way home.
Wait, so she almost came back early?
Exactly. I had to think fast. I told her that actually I had already started cooking and everything was under control. I was trying to sound casual, but honestly, I was freaking out.
I can imagine. So did everyone make it in time?
barely. As soon as I hung up, more people started showing up. We were literally shoving decorations up and arranging chairs when my brother texted saying they were 5 minutes away.
That's cutting it close.
I know. And then, right when we heard the car pulling into the driveway, someone knocked over a glass of wine on the table. It spilled everywhere.
You're kidding.
I wish I was. We were all scrambling to clean it up. I remember thinking, this is a disaster. But somehow we managed to wipe it down and hide the bottle just as my mom walked through the door.
So she had no idea?
None. When she walked in and saw everyone yelling, "Surprise!" she was completely shocked. She actually started crying. Happy tears, obviously.
Oh, that's sweet. So it worked out in the end?
It did, yeah. Once the party got going, everything was great. People were chatting, the food turned out well, and my mom kept saying it was the best birthday she'd ever had.
That's a relief, although it sounds like you were stressed the entire time.
Oh, I was. But you know what? Looking back, I think the chaos made it more memorable. Like, we'll be laughing about the wine spill and the traffic jam for years.
True. Those are always the best stories.
Exactly. Anyway, enough about me. What did you do over the break?
Nothing nearly as dramatic. I actually just went hiking with some friends up in the mountains. We'd been planning it since last summer, and the weather ended up being perfect.
That sounds nice and peaceful.
It was. We stayed in this tiny cabin we'd rented for the weekend. No Wi-Fi, no distractions, just us, the trails, and some card games at night.
Honestly, that sounds amazing right now. I could use a quiet weekend after all that party planning.
I bet. Well, at least you pulled it off. Your mom's lucky to have someone who'd go through all that trouble for her.
Thanks. It was worth it in the end. Though next time, I'm definitely not organizing anything last minute.
Smart move. Anyway, glad you survived the chaos.
Me too.
Okay, so did you hear the difference?
That's right. And here's the thing. It's not like Clara suddenly became a grammar genius or anything. She just added more layers to her story.
Exactly. Like when she said, "I'd been planning for weeks," instead of just, "I planned it." That little detail, using past perfect, gives you context about what happened before the main story.
Right. And those connectors we mentioned earlier, they were all through that conversation. Words like meanwhile, by the time, and as soon as. They help the story flow instead of sounding like a simple list of events.
And did you notice how she mixed the tenses? I was running around all morning setting everything up, while my brother was supposed to be keeping my mom distracted. It paints a fuller picture.
For sure. But honestly, the jump from B1 to B2 isn't massive when you look at the grammar. It's really about using what you already know with more confidence and variety.
Yeah, the real challenge, and this is important, is doing it while you're actually speaking. Like reading this or understanding it, pretty manageable. But producing it in real time, that's different.
Totally. That's why we always recommend shadowing. And I know some people think it's silly or that it doesn't work, but trust me, it does.
Oh, it absolutely does. When you shadow, you're training your mouth and your brain to work together. You're not just understanding the language, you're getting used to the rhythm, the flow, the natural pauses.
Exactly. So if you're listening to this episode, try playing these conversations again and speak along with them. Match the speed, copy the intonation. It feels awkward at first, but that's how you build fluency.
And another thing, don't just rely on podcasts or videos. You need to actually use the language with real people. Find a language partner, join a conversation group, even talk to yourself if you have to.
Yeah, because here's the reality. You can know all the grammar rules, but if you're not actively using them, they'll just sit in your head gathering dust.
Right. The more you expose yourself to English, whether it's through listening, speaking, or even watching shows, the more natural it becomes. Your brain starts picking up patterns without you even realizing it.
And that's when B2 stops feeling like a challenge and starts feeling like just how you talk.
Exactly. So don't overthink it. Practice, make mistakes, and just go for it. You've got this.
All right, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Remember, talking about the past doesn't have to be scary or complicated. You already have the tools. You just need to use them.
And honestly, the fact that you're here listening to this shows you're serious about improving. That's huge.
For sure. So don't give up. Every conversation you have, every mistake you make, it's all part of the process.
Before we go, if you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button. It really helps other learners find us.
And thank you so much for sticking with us until the end. We know there are tons of options out there, so it means a lot that you chose to spend your time here.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone.